Eddie Northcutt. Don't go anywhere. Sorry, I was having technical difficulties there. How are you, dear? Oop, sorry. There we go. 11. Stop, everybody. Come on in. Come on. Aaron Vanlier. Vanlier, sorry. Oh, that's horrible focus. That's a little bit better. How are you, Betty? Aaron? Ladies, gentlemen, Sophia? Sophia, great name, by the way. Sophia? X-Ferge. What's up, guys, girls? Where are you from? USA? It's a virtual green screen, yeah. They're already, you can download background pictures and use it as a background. So you just choose. They also have like 4 default backgrounds you can use from Mexico and the USA. Where? From New Mexico? CJ. What's up, CJD? And from Michigan, my father's home state. He was from Detroit. Yep. What info? Medicine. What would you like to talk about? What is that? Oi 2? Matthew, hoorah. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added unto you. Hallelujah, hallelujah. You know that scripture song, Shining Light? Just zero, oi. Hola, Tony, ¿cómo estás? Boston, Mass. Well, I'm in New Jersey. You're up there. I raced at the Ware racetrack in Ware, Massachusetts. Toons. Have I ever seen God, small g God or capital G God, on MDMA? What's MDMA? Sorry. Okay, what has caused all this mass illness? What mass illness are you talking about? You mean in the world? That's an easy one. Nice, I was just at Epping. What's Epping? Sorry? I'm not familiar with Epping. Is that Epping, New Jersey? What mass illness are you referring to, Oi? Talking about in the world? That's an easy question if that's what you are asking. They're the same, one and the same, Aaron. Yeah. Oh, Epping Racetrack. I don't know, Epping in New Jersey? No, I raced at oh, Millville Racetrack. Honda cars or Honda motorcycles? I already answered your question, Aaron. Read John 1. Yeah, really, Tyson. Yeah. Honda cars. Okay. Joe Biden is better. Yeah, there is an easy answer. Are you referring to illness in the world, right? What caused all this mass illness? Sin. For the wages of sin is death. You see the relationship? So because of one, there's another. The wages, that's what you earn. Like your employer pays you a wage. Well, the wage of sin, what you earn as a sinner, is death. Everything that is associated with death, illness, disease, suffering, injury, hurt, pain, it's all because of sin. We are dying because of sin. You want me to prove you're a sinner? You want me to prove I'm a sinner? I'm going to die, aren't I? There you go. There's your answer. The wages of sin is death. But the second part to that verse is the good part. But the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. See that? So, how are you, Tyson? What's up? Where are you located? Soul Retriever. Dad used to work at Brotherhood Raceway in L.A. I've never been there. I never heard of it. BS. The shot you get in the arm, you sold. You said this was about medicine. Why are you lying to people? Not lying whatsoever. Just telling the truth. Oh, there is no sin, only lack of morals. What is a moral, Oi? And how do you know that? Where does that come from? And I don't quite understand the beginning. BS, the shot you get in the arm, you said this was about medicine. BS, the shot you get in the arm. What are you talking about? What are morals? And where do they come from? And how do you know? Hey, Boba, there's Boba. Do you know Blake Calm? I didn't mean to say that. Okay. Anyways, Tyson, oi, oi, I think you're a little all over the place with your comments and your questions. What's going on? Uh, what about Soul? Are you still there, Retriever? And Tyson says I'm playing earlier. Um, yeah, you're a keyboard professional, right? Oi. Betty, how about Betty? You were the first one in. Are you still there? Soul asks, how do you feel about Satanists? What would you do if your daughter brought home a Satanist boyfriend one day? Uh, I'd let her know. I'd say, danger, Will Robinson. That you might not understand where that uh, came from, but yeah, the robot, with his arms flailing, danger, 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 Will Robinson. Robot used to say. Yeah, actually, if she brought home a Satanist, I'd sit him down at the table and tell him the truth. And if he didn't want to listen, I'd try again. And if he still didn't want to listen, I'd excuse him from the house, and that would be that. Yeah, that's what I call them. A keyboard professional, keyboard artist, keyboard warrior, a Facebook warrior. Do I like fried pickled squirrel toes? No. Pickles are the bomb, though. Ronaldo, ¿cómo estás? I remember Ronaldo. Aren't you from Mexico, Mexico City? Or are you from New Mexico? I forget. Somebody was from Mexico. Then you could both lie to each other. How do you know? I'm sorry. Who's both? Both who? How do you know? I used to be a paramedic, a civilian paramedic, and a part-time Navy corpsman in the United States Navy. Oh, Reynaldo's from Portugal. Gotcha. Wolf Chief, what do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I didn't, you'll have to clarify yourself, Soul. Diana, oh, you're Dionia, or she said she was going to invite you. I think she said she meant Diana. Hi, Diana. I understand you're from Slovakia. Who's better, Messi or Ronaldo? I don't know Messi. Pay attention, what? To the conversation you speak. Oh, I know exactly what I'm speaking about. Very clearly, thank you very much. I'm trying to pay attention to what you're trying to say, Oi, and you're kind of all over the place. So elaborate about what, Wolf? You you came in the middle of the conversation. Wolf Chief, where are you from, Wolf? Most ignorant people I have ever met have been police and fire. Oh, and what are you? Oi? Thank you, Diana. California, oorah. San Diego boy, myself. I'm not in San Diego at the moment, but my hometown is San Diego. How about you, Wolf? What part of California? Azores. Cool. Italy? Is that correct? Azores? The Azores. I'm trying to remember. Azores. Wait, Azores. The island. Nope, that's not Italy. Or is it? Ah, near Disneyland. Now you say OC. Oh, Orange County. Okay, okay. Well, you're a little short of Disneyland. Yeah, I know where you are. Yeah, Anaheim's a little further north of Orange County. Oh, Azores is in Portugal. Oh, okay. The islands, right? The Azore Islands. Sorry. Hoorah, Aaron. Thank you. Awesome. Ugh. Wolf. Oi. May I ask about what is your age range, Oi? Christ is a position away. No, Christ is a person. No, absolutely not. That's what my brother says. My brother would agree with you on that. Just a way of life, just a way to live your life, a good way. No, Christ isn't a something, it's a someone. It's a person. Yeah, I have to disagree with you there. Believing in Christ will save your life, bro. Been there, done that. Studied him for the last 17 years and am overwhelmingly convinced that is how you got here, how we got here. It is the way, the truth, and the life. I should say, Christ is the way, the truth, and the life. It's the answer. John 14:6 says it. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh unto the Father except through me. That's Christ talking. That's a pretty profound claim for someone to say, I am the way. I am the way you got here. I am the truth about everything, everything. And I am the life, he said. He is either telling the absolute truth 100% or he's a 100% liar. You call it. You call it. Hold on 1 second, Aaron and Diana. One second. No, there's only been one Jesus Christ. No, Jesus Christ isn't a prophet either. Now, overwhelmingly convinced that Jesus Christ is God. And just too much evidence, and you can't dispute it. I mean, the numbers are overwhelming. So. Yeah, so did I. I took shrooms. Speaking of Disneyland, I took shrooms and went to Disneyland back in high school. Yeah. Nah, you're absolutely wrong. 100%, Oi. I can say that with confidence because what I know is the truth. And I either know the truth 100% or I don't, or I'm a liar, right? Yeah. So, anyways, um, thank you, by the way, Boba, for inviting your friends. And Oi is 83, are you? Yeah, I'll be 62 in August. I was born in 62, 1962. Yeah. What was Mount St. Helen like? Are you asking me, Tyson? What was Mount St. Helen like? What is your favorite YouTuber? I really don't have one. I just watch multiple, subscribe to multiple people and watch their channels. Yeah, I know Mount St. Helen, but well, you're asking me? I wasn't there, but I can tell you what happened, I guess. Pretty interesting. They're learning a lot. They're confirming a lot through the Mount St. Helen eruption and the confirming the the evidence that they are finding. Um, I'm sorry, that they are studying in the world today. Mount St. Helens is confirming a lot of it, such as the construction of the Grand Canyon, the burial of trees, and um, the burial. What's the word I'm looking for? The petrification of trees in a vertical nature through the multiple layers of supposed um, uh, timeline in the layers of the rock. You know, how does a tree take up uh, this era, this era, this era, and this era all at the same time when there is millions and billions of years that supposedly separate those layers, when one tree trunk can be in all of those timelines. It's like laughable. But Mount St. Helens shows how a tree is blown off, lays in a lake, eventually sinks vertically, embeds itself in the bottom of the lake, and eventually the lake dries up and the tree remains vertical and buried in the mud. And it has multiple layers of sedimentary rock. The tree trunk is buried in sedimentary rock, including different layers of supposed timeline from different eras. It's impossible. How can a tree exist 1 million years ago and further up the time scale? It's it's ridiculous. Mount St. Helens shows that how a tree trunk can be exist in different layers because it happened during a catastrophic event and different layers of sediment and rock were buried on top of this tree trunk. And eventually the tree trunk becomes petrified due to a catastrophic event, such as a flood. Yeah. Well, what's even crazier, Tyson, is that it just proves that it doesn't take millions of years to lay down layers of rock. If there was millions of years between these layers of rocks, how come there isn't any um, what's the word, the geology word for where bugs and insects and life it burrows itself down in between the into the dirt? It's called um, I forget the word. But anyways, if you had one layer of rock and there was millions of years before the next layer of rock was laid on top of it, how come there isn't any sign of any animal life burrowing down into the soil or tree roots or life in general? How come there's no evidence of life between these two layers if it took millions of years between those two layers? But yet Mount St. Helens, after the explosion, created a canyon that almost replicates the Grand Canyon in a much smaller scale. But that canyon was formed within days. And what's at the bottom of that canyon? A small tributary of water. It's called an underfit river. The river doesn't match the valley that it's contained in. It's because that valley wasn't created by that little river. It was created by a massive flood that went over that surface and cut down into the layers of rock. Have you seen what water can do to steel? Yeah, so anyways, it I've been studying this for 17 years and it's overwhelmingly convincing what happened and how the surface of the earth is what it is today and why we have the land formations that we have all over the world that are repeatable from continent to continent. And the layers of rock, of sedimentary rock, is evident in different countries of the world. The same layer in America can be found over in England, in the UK, and then that same layer continues into Germany, into Europe, and that same layer can be found in Russia, and that same layer can be found, and you just keep going around the world. Why? Because the same body of water carved the whole earth. It's the only way that that could happen. It's amazing. Once you read the truth, the truth will make you free, guys. Yeah. And back to Oi's comment, about Christ. It's overwhelming, bro. Here, let me read something to you. You got me started now, Oi. And this is not going to answer your question necessarily, but this says it a lot better than I can. And that is creation as described in the book of Genesis, Genesis 1:1, in the beginning God created, the truth. In the beginning God created, as described in the book of Genesis, is perfectly consistent with all known scientific laws and evidence. Did you hear that? Not the other way around. Scientific laws and evidence is not perfectly consistent with the book of Genesis. No, it didn't say that. It says the book of Genesis, in the beginning God created, is perfectly consistent with all known scientific laws and evidence. And the scientific evidence is overwhelming. I challenge any skeptical person to give this book an impartial reading before dismissing the creationist point of view, or before claiming or before making statements like Jesus Christ isn't the truth and he was just a prophet and it's just a way of living and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I challenge any person that says something like that, what you guys said, before dismissing in the beginning God created. The evidence is overwhelming. Overwhelming. The name of this book is Evolution, the Greatest Deception in Modern History. 17 years, guys, I've been studying an alternate viewpoint, worldview. I was raised in the evolutionary. It was taught in my school. I mean, that's all that went in my ears was this bullcrap, evolution. And when I started reading the truth, it's overwhelming. Overwhelming. Convincing. 100%. There's no disputing it. And if you put your pride in your back pocket and you did the same and gave this a chance and studied it, you would be convinced as well. So there you go. That's where I stand. And been where you guys are, and you're being deceived. There's no question. It's you've been lied to, like the pastor in San Diego said to me 20 years ago. We've been lied to, big guy. We've been lied to. And I sat there and looked at and listened to him like, huh? What is he talking about? What does he mean I've been lied to? How can he say that? He's saying all the teachers that I had in school, in college, were wrong? My parents were wrong? Well, guess what? If it doesn't have this foundation, if it doesn't have Genesis 1:1 as its foundation, it ain't the truth. Can't be. Overwhelming, 100%. So you see what I'm saying? Why would I say that without having complete confidence in what I'm saying? What, I've been deceived? I'm either telling the truth or I'm telling you 100% lie. Right? It's either one or the other. Not a little bit of this and a little bit of that. I'm either telling you the truth or I'm telling a complete lie. Your choice. It's up to you guys. Yeah, it's up to you. That's all I can say. Give, like that book said, give it a chance. Right? Wouldn't it be fair if you're a skeptical person like myself to give every possibility a chance? Right? It would be ignorant to just disregard something just because you don't like it or it sounds too far-fetched. Yeah. Yeah, but you know what? This isn't new information though. See, that's the difference. That's the big difference, Oi. This isn't new information whatsoever. This has been around since the beginning. Since the beginning of time. And it's never changed. Get that? Did you hear that? This has never changed. And it never will change. It never has changed, will change, is changing, or will change. And yet it still holds the truth. And when you use this as a foundation, everything starts to make sense. It starts to fit together like a puzzle. It has the answer. Give it a chance. Study it. Study geology with this foundation as your foundation. Study astronomy, using this as your foundation, your starting point. Study archaeology, using this as your starting point. Study mathematics with this as your starting point. Pick a field of science and use this as your starting point. You'll be overwhelmingly convinced when you're done that this is the truth. It makes sense. It makes total sense. Without a doubt. Absolutely. It's been rocking my world for nearly 20 years. And it pissed me off when I first found out about it. Finally started studying it because it's been around all of my schooling and they don't teach it. What the? Why would they withhold this? Why would they withhold the answers? Why would they hold back the greatest hoax on earth? Why would they, why would they, why don't they teach this in school? Biblical geology. Why am I just now finding out about it 20 years, 40 years after high school? What the? It's like, how dare them? What are they feeding? What are they filling my eyes and my ears with? When I read this, it's overwhelmingly convincing that this is a much better explanation for everything. Everything. You know what? I got a book on that. You know what? Speaking of aliens, I got a book on that. I'm sitting there reaching for it, and I don't even know where it is. I don't know how it's not on my table. I got a book that answers that question. What does the Bible say about aliens? I got a book, a great book. And it makes sense. Total sense. Total sense. Yeah, it's amazing. You see how worked up and almost passionate I am about what I'm saying? This isn't coming from somebody that is questioning, like, gee, I still, I'm still considering this side and this side. No, no. It's overwhelming. My mind is made up for the rest of my life to the day till I take my last breath. I found the truth, and the truth made me free from all of it, from all of my past. I'm free of it. You know what? And God forbid you leave this earth and you don't know the truth, Oi, or Tyson, or whoever else still is questioning, who Jesus Christ was. God forbid, guys. You don't want to leave this earth. And being if you're anything like me, I'm a skeptic all the time. I teach my kids to be skeptical, and not go with follow the sheep in front of you. But being that I am what I am, or as you are, wouldn't you, if you heard somebody like me tell you, you know what, I found something, guys, and it's overwhelming. The evidence is overwhelming. Doesn't that make you curious? It's like, what is it that he knows? What did you find out? What did he find out? What did Doc find out? Doesn't that make you curious? Or does it piss you off more than anything that somebody is saying, hey, guess what, guys? I got the answer. I've got it. I found it. Don't you want to know? And I that's what I'd leave with you guys. It's like telling you, I've got it. I've got it here on my coffee table. I continue to receive it every 3 months. I subscribe to scientific journals that talk about the sciences of the world from a biblical point of view. From a biblical point of view.
Okay, I'm back. Huh. It's an Xbox thing. I'm having technical difficulties. It doesn't have a memory like a laptop. It's very slow and very limited. Yeah. So, anyways, Alex, I was saying I had an opportunity uh, to do a patrol with snipers. I actually went on a mission, and it was pretty basic. We were just going to provide support for uh, a Marine Corps platoon that was going to hold a traffic stop at an intersection of a highway. And they were looking for a bad guy. They were looking for a guy that was launching mortars at our base and harassing us. So we were trying to find him and stop him. So they were going to do a traffic stop and look for a white Toyota or a white Datsun. I forget which one it was. Because they use white, apparently they were using a white vehicle to launch their mortars from. And then once they launched their mortars, they would leave the scene. So by the time we got there to try to intercept them, they were long gone. So we were looking for a white truck, and the Marines held this traffic stop at this intersection. And we ended up inserting the night before in this hide. It was not really a very inconspicuous hide, but it was in a hide up kind of on this mound of dirt. And there was a dugout in the middle at the top of the mound of dirt. And in this dugout, the three of us laid in, and we were just looking through using our weapons and or binoculars. They had infrared and night vision, infrared and thermal imaging. And we were using all of the above to just look and observe and watch these guys at the intersection. At night, we were using night vision and thermal imaging and stuff. But we weren't observing them at night. We waited until the morning time, and then all afternoon we observed these Marines at an intersection. And if there was any problems or any kind of resistance, then we were to try to help them. So we were just observing and watching. And I took a chance. I had the opportunity to look through using some of their equipment and helped observe. And they were telling me what they were doing and what they were looking for. And one sniper turned to me and he said, "Hey, Doc, how's your shooting?" And I said, "I can hold my own. Why?" And I wasn't bragging. I just, I did well on the range. I qualified. And so, I said, I can hit something. Why? He said, "Come here." And he handed me his M14 AR, his automatic rifle, and he had a small scope on the top of it. And I was able to, see the intersection. It was about, I don't know, 500, 300 yards away, maybe 600 feet or less. And I'm like, okay, what am I looking for? And he said, "Can you see the guys at the intersection?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "See that guy walking up in the white man dress? Was an Iraqi individual, civilian. He'd gotten out of his car and he was walking up to the intersection." And apparently I found out later that actually while I was looking, they were telling me typically a person of some authority figure, like an imam, IMAM, like a spiritual leader, will go up to the intersection and he'll take the initiative to figure out what's going on, find out how long the wait is or what's happening. And then when he walks back to his car, he tells everybody along the line what's going on. And it just, informs the people so they don't get impatient or whatever. So he says, see that imam walking up to the intersection? And I said, yeah. He said, put the crosshairs on his chest. And I thought, really? Why does he want me to do that? But, it's just like I'm just target practice, and just observing. And so I put the crosshairs on his midsection, right dead center in his chest. And he said, you think you could pull the trigger? And I thought, wow, really? I'm thinking, I'm thinking in my head, why, number one, and yeah, I think I could pull the trigger. It was like target practice. I really wasn't looking per se at a person. I was just, in my head, I was a target. And when I'm at the range, and I got crosshairs on a target, I pull the trigger. And usually, if you're lined up properly, you'll hit what you're aiming at. So I told him, yeah, I think so. He said, if that guy does anything aggressive towards our Marines, he says, put a round in his chest. And I thought, okay. He says, we've had guys walk up at the intersection and they're strapped with a bomb and they'll detonate themselves and kill everybody. So he said, just keep an eye on him, watch his hands. And if you feel that he's doing anything, that's going to harm our Marines, he said, I give you the permission to pull the trigger. And I thought, holy moly, I've got crosshairs on a person. And I'm the medic, so I thought, yeah, I could pull the trigger. I know what to do with him if I hit him. So anyways, that was my story, my sniper story. And no, I never did pull the trigger. But yeah, I had the weapon in my hand, and I even asked him, I said, is your weapon zeroed? He goes, don't worry about it, Doc. He said, you're not that far away. He said, if your crosshairs are, wherever your crosshairs are, you're going to hit that. And I said, okay, good to go. So I just sat there, and whenever he moved or wandered, I was just wandering with him and keeping the crosshairs on his chest. But no, he ended up walking back to his vehicle and passing the word. And that was all that was said and done. So I'm sorry. Let me scroll back. Let me see if there was any comments made regarding. No, it looks like there wasn't, Alex. All that work we did over there, and Joe Biden screwed it all up. Yeah, according to the media, right? Yeah, but I agree, Alex. I tell people, don't worry about why we're over there. The people, i.e. me, it's just like you. I'm one of you. And so look at it that way, as opposed to why is he over there? Or should we be over there? Don't worry about that. Because I am over there and I want to get home. So support that. And that's where people come together. That's where you get unity and motivation and support, is when you start send care packages to your fellow Americans over there and support them. Did you ever see the movie The Greatest Beer Run ever? Great movie to watch. That is right along those lines. If you haven't seen that, you got to find it. You can find it on Apple TV. That's where I found it. And I ended up subscribing. I had to subscribe to Apple TV, and then I watched it for like $5.99. The Greatest Beer Run Ever. Watch it. If you haven't seen it, recommend it. 100%. Kind of hits on that. Why, what a person can do to help support the American troops, wherever they are. whether they're on a peacekeeping mission or if they're at war. Believe me, it's no fun over there. It's no fun being away from home, no matter where you are. And and my goal, my thought that occupied my brain more than anything was getting home. It sucks being over there. I just want to do my job and get home. Yeah. Yeah, check it out. It's Alex, aren't you the other uh military or ex-military member? It was two people. The Army Special Forces Ranger, and I believe it was you, Alex. No? Maybe I'm wrong, but there was two guys that came in the past. Maybe it wasn't you, but yeah. Selena, hey, again, Selena. I call you Selena. Like I said, it sounds more like a girl's name, Selena. You know what? I actually went to school with a Selena. Selena Gutierrez, Hispanic girl. Yeah, yeah, high school. Sure did. Used to eat lunch with her. Gosh, that's a blast from the past. I didn't even realize that last time. That Selena was the name of um, a high school classmate. Yeah. Actually, I don't know if her last name was Gutierrez, but that was the first name that came out of my mouth. The first last name, Selena. Selena. Gosh, you know what? I have a high school yearbook. Actually, I don't think she was my age. She was younger than me, but I should have it. Selena, let me see if I've got that yearbook here. Let me see. Let me see. It's got to be. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't have it. But anyway, crazy. I wish I could say I was in that. Oh, where? In the Iraq conflict? Oh, it wasn't you. Okay, okay. Well, anyways, Alex, are you a guy? Now I'm thinking Alex is also a girl's name. Oh, I like your profile picture, by the way. I've never seen that. Joe in the Hoe. That's pretty cool. Well, Alex, a little bit of info for you. Never say never about being in the military. Uh, I found out, if you didn't hear my story before, that the cutoff age for the military today is 40, the United States military is 42 years old. 4-2. When I was in, the cutoff age was 37. They increased it 5 years. I was 36 years old 2 months before my 37th birthday when I discovered a program that implemented civilian experience into the military. And I was told that they've had that ever since World War II. So for instance, if you're a construction worker, building things in the civilian world, you can join the Navy and be a part of the Seabees or the construction battalion, the letter C, the letter B. Even though the mascot is a bumblebee, and they you can also spell it SEA, like the ocean, because they're Navy, and then the insect, the bee, the sea bees. But what it's referring to is the letter C and the letter B, the construction battalion. So as a contractor, always number one. What's up? big guy. Um, yeah, you can apply your construction experience into the military, and you don't have to be with the Navy per se. The Army has their own construction group. The Marines have their own construction group. The Air Force, I'm sure, has their own construction. So you can bring your civilian experience into the military all the way up into 42 years old, and you can get a 20-year retirement out of that. So if you start when you're 42, you'll be 62 when you retire. But my recommendation is join when you're younger. That way you can retire early. So if you're 18, you're going to retire at 38. What a deal. Can you imagine retiring at 38 years old? And technically, you don't have to work, although many do. You know, they continue to work and do something. But anyways, yeah, Selena had a friend named Alex, um, nicknamed Smart Alex. And was that really his nickname? Smart Alex. It's actually Smart Alec, Alec. But yes, I know that's a fun nickname. Um, awesome. Are you wait, always number one? You're not the one here in New Jersey, are you? Always number one? Uh, I I forgot. Who was it I responded to their message? Said they lived in Wildwood. Was that you? Always number one? Forgive me. I try to recall hundreds of people, and it's inevitable I get them wrong. Not to mention my own kid's name. You know, I confuse one for the other. Yeah. Well, I remember your name, but are you the are you the one in Wildwood with a house in Wildwood, New Jersey, or no? Different animal. Oh, okay. 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 Sorry. Again, I'm just trying to recall many different people. So when you said house renovation, I automatically went there. Ah, you're from India. Well, congrats on the renovation on your house. Cool. Is it going to be obviously better than it was before? Alex says, "You think Michelle Obama was born a man?" Well, that was funny. We'll just leave it at that. Welcome back, Boba. And BlackRock or others call me wanting to know if I want to sell it. Who's BlackRock? I'm sorry. Is that a real estate agency or something? And Selena, I'm sorry, where are you? I asked you if you're from Kansas. I don't think you said you are. You're somewhere else. You know what? I'm getting the munchies. I need and there's pizza over there, but I'm resisting and trying to cycle my intake of bad carbs. Cycle as in 3 times out of 7 days of the week, and the other 4 are without. BlackRock. Oh, geez, look into it. They are evil. You know, the first thing I thought of was you were trying to say Blackwater, but then I thought, well, no, she's got it in capital letters. BlackRock. It's a big company that probably is ran by a bunch of Illuminati members. Oh, that pretty much own all the real estate in the United States. Really? It's 2 p.m. afternoon, 39. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And it goes to 46. Holy moly. You're so smart. I'm not smart if I don't know BlackRock. Well, I would be lying if I said I disconnected myself from um, media in general, primetime TV. Now, I ain't part of it anymore. I'm pretty much just a YouTube channel um, follower, and I have my specific, subjects and things that I watch. And as far as media goes, I just look for Trump talking. I want to hear him speak. His, uh, footage of him speaking instead of somebody else's play on or somebody else's coverage and commenting on Trump and who he is and what he said and what he meant and what they think and yada yada. I don't want to hear any of it. I want to hear it. Well, now you got me curious. You know who I'll ask tomorrow when he's awake? I'll ask my 19-year-old son. I'm sure he's a little more privy to BlackRock than I am. So, oh, that's right. I do remember you saying before, Kansas City, Kansas, and you're in Coronado. Wow. Well, Coronado is in San Diego, where the Navy SEALs practice. But yeah, I didn't know there's a community in Kansas City, Kansas. Oh, but you are in Kansas. Uh, and where did your name come from again? From Salina, Kansas? Coronando. Oh, Coronando. Oh, I just read it as Coronado. Coronando. Oh, okay. And Alex says, did you know that Bill Gates owns more acres of farmland than any in the United States? No, I didn't know that. But what is d cubed s? Oh my gosh, slash dt cubed. I have no idea, bro. It's something. It looks like something my son would know. Is that a area of land? Is that a cubic eight? No. What is that? Is that a measurement of land? That's my guess. It equals to jerk. What? Seriously? Oh, you were born in Salina. Is that correct? The correct pronunciation? Salina? I'm a girl or was. Cool. No, it's differentiations of speed and time. Ah, cool. Hey, C. I'm sorry. I did see you, and I did see you. Um, thanks for coming. I don't remember you before, so if it's first time here, awesome. Oh, just to let you know, see, I'm just an ex-paramedic slash Navy corpsman, and just kind of randomly here tonight or this morning, and letting people kind of run the topic. And occasionally it lets me, or it leads into a medical story that um, I had or experienced. Diana, are you okay? Did you survive the boot? Boba, you're leaving? I gotta go. See you later. Do you guys live in the same area in Slovakia? Diana and Boba? Bantakova. Ah, you do. Awesome. Are you guys friends, like in the same neighborhood, or you guys live different locations? Today I learned about magnetism and moving electrical. Ooh. Oh, I bet. You know, I watched an old school video on magnetism. Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen some of those old videos, like 1950, 60s videos on YouTube about magnetism and electric particles? Oh, you got to look that up if you haven't seen that number. It is way cool. I mean, like, woo, gives me goosebumps thinking about it. It might be old information, but for you, but if you can find it, it's like I don't know if it's black and white, or he's got like a large electronic machine that creates electrical particles and magnetism, and he shows the bending of the of the magnetism, the waves. It just really, I forget the whole gist of the video, but it's really good, really good. Are you at home now, Boba? I recommend you watch and react on H.C. Verma explaining failure of Coulomb's law. If distance between charges is taken a light year, is that on YouTube? H.C. Verma is how old is it? Is he still alive, or is this an old video? Because I watched one that was just wow, really, really fun and interesting to watch. It's on YouTube. Awesome. He's still alive. He's a little older than I am. Yeah, I'll have to. I wonder if it's the same guy. Although I think this guy that I was watching before, he's probably still not alive. He looked elderly back in the 50s. I think it was around 50s or 60s, this video that I was watching. Really good, though. Let me see if I can. Well, no, I'm going to end up leaving the channel again if I try to. Again, I'm not on a laptop, so I'm kind of limited. If I had a phone, I could search on my phone, but I don't. So I'm stuck. Well, you're up at all hours in the morning, uh, Selena. Hmm. Oh, is Verma an Indian teacher? Now that you say that, it sounds like a an Indian with the last name Verma, H.C. Verma. What's the most reactive element? Gosh, the most reactive? Uh, Magnesium. Most reactive. That was a guess. Carbon. Very good. Yeah, he's Indian. What is the most reactive? Sodium, potassium. Oh, okay. I was on the Easium uh, trail. The least reactive. Oh wow. Water. Is water an element? Boy, I don't even know my hydrogen. No, that would be very reactive. Um, Oxygen. No. Wait. Water isn't an element. Um, Let me think. Don't tell me. Um, the least reactive element has got to be something like lead. Yeah, hydrogen. I already figured that out on my own. Always, I thought of H2O and I went, well, no, it's hydrogen and oxygen, and they're both reactive. Um, so, yeah, you said gold and silver. I was going to say lead. Lead is dead. That's what I was thinking. So it's got to be something like lead. So it's gold and silver. That makes sense. Did you get that joke? That makes sense. Gold and silver makes sense. Cents. Badoom. You can always wear gold and silver. They are least reactive, so they don't react with elements in the air. Doesn't silver though? I guess if it reacts, it's not pure silver. Yeah, that makes sense. See, that makes sense. Boy, that's a great comment. And I just fell into that one. Yeah, pure silver doesn't, but if it has nickel in it, then it's going to oxidize. And that's what you see with American coins, the oxidation. That's because they're not pure. Is that correct? Does that sound right? Yeah, the American dime, for example, um, oxidizes, and so does a penny. And well, penny is what, copper. So, Robbie, what do you? Oh, that's right. You're in Romania, so it's what time is it there? Noon.
I'm still here, guys. Test, 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 test. There we go. Okay. I'm still here. Just stand by. I gotta replace the battery in the camera. Um, hey, Robbie, let me just tell you something real quick while I'm changing the battery. I inadvertently, by mistake, I put somebody on, I banned and deleted somebody from my chat room by mistake. So I quickly went over to uh, YouTube Studio, and their name is sitting right there in my banned list or deleted list. And I deleted them from the list, and they came right back into the chat room moments later. And I looked at the list again, looking for your name. And I thought, well, that's the way it's supposed to work. If I ban somebody, their name goes right to that banned list on Studio, in Studio. And your name is not there. So something happened. Something happened other than me accidentally banning you. Because if I truly banned you somewhere, then your name's going to be on my list. And you're not. So what happened? So anyways, okay, I got the other battery. I'm going to put it back in the camera. So that made me think of you when the YouTube agent said it's something it needs to be corrected. Okay, so it's something they need to do on their end. Well, I'll try again eventually and try to get a better chat, uh, a virtual chat or a different phone number. I just spent a half an hour today researching a charge to an Amazon charge that was showing up on my bank statement, but it wasn't showing up on the Amazon account. So I thought it was fraudulent and I was going to file a claim. But then the last representative from Amazon that I was talking to on the phone, she had me look further, and eventually we found it. And it was one of those Amazon credit cards that they offer to finance purchases. And I was not getting any notification other than my bank statement. No email, no text messages. So, yeah, we found it and everything's okay. But I was thinking of, I don't like researching online problems because they always take forever. And this YouTube experience is proving that very thing, that very theory. Oh, sorry. Let me put the camera back on. I think it's working now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Back in action. No, no, it's interest free. What it is, Robbie, is they want you to use other services on Amazon, like Amazon TV, Amazon Music, Amazon whatever. All these different services that they provide. So the one way of getting you to be able to use those peripheral services is to advertise a credit card or a credit card that is no interest, but you have to pay it off within a certain amount of time. If you don't, then they charge you interest. But there's no annual fee, and there's no anyway. So they make it attractive so that you sign up for it, and it enables you to purchase. For instance, I purchased a trolling motor, an electric motor for my kayak, and I did not have the whole amount, so I broke it up into payments, like 6 payments, I think, and that's what I found. Eventually, I found was I was paying for this trolling motor, and I forgot about me getting this card. And then I told him at the very end, well, could you eliminate that card, like end it and get rid of my account? And they didn't want me to. They were trying their best to keep me, but I said no, just get rid of it because I don't want to have. Gosh, my contact is blurry. I don't want to have to run into this problem in the future where I don't know what that charge is on my bank account. What is that? Where's that coming from? What am I paying for? So it's like, thank you very much. And I've already paid off my trolling motor, so it's gone. My balance is zero. And I said, okay, get rid of the card. I don't want it. Gosh, this tells me I've been I've had these contacts in for too long. So the left one is getting all sticky. Oh my gosh. I can barely read what you're writing. That's how I know my contacts are going crazy. Gosh, I put a coloring book on Amazon so you can buy it. Did you really? Seriously? You made it? Or I'm sorry, you're selling it? Is that what you're They have a marketplace? Does Amazon have a marketplace? I think they do, right? Oh, you made it and you're selling it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, how cool. I'll have to look it up. If I search for coloring book, will I find it? Gosh, I gotta put some moisture drops in my eye or something. This is horrible. Oh, around $5. Gotcha. Yeah, my left contact is. That's how I'm able to see. That's why I'm not wearing glasses because I got contacts in. Well, Robbie, it's fun to see you here. And Selena, what are you still doing up, Selena? Are you a night owl like I am? Oh, use the link. Oh, did you post a link? Sorry. Oh, 11:48. Yeah, so it is noon, 7-hour difference. Oh my gosh. I might have to excuse myself and go into the bathroom here. Selena girl, FJB pooped my pants. What? Oh, there it is. I just saw the link. Okay. Well, it's when I'm on StreamYard, the link is not clickable. I have to use a phone to see the link, and I don't have my link. I mean, I don't have my phone. Yeah, what would I search on Amazon to see that? I actually have, no, I deleted the tab. I before I had Amazon up there. Oh, 5 o'clock in the morning. Goodness gracious. Let me see if your link has any get help. No, it doesn't include any like keywords. Tyson Hollenbeck. Where are you, Tyson? I'm sorry. Are you the one in California, Orange County? Oh, I got you. Ah, it was too long. TOO. Washington State. Okay. Were you, is this the first time on my live stream, or were you on before a couple days ago? Um, Seems like I was speaking to somebody that was in Washington State. I lived up in Oregon back in 1996, 97, and the actual county that I lived in was Washington County, but it's not the state of Washington. It's Washington County, Oregon. It's suburbs like of Portland area. Well, the general location. Gotcha. The name of the book is Ben Brush. Okay. Oh, no, was the one talking about volcanoes. Hmm, volcanoes. Trying to recall. You're talking about Mount St. Helens, or maybe I missed it. Were you here when Oi was? I think you were. When that Oi user was. Okay. Gotcha, gotcha. I probably missed everything you were talking about volcanoes. Oh, Mount St. Helens. You're saying yes to. Yeah, cool stuff. Speaking of volcanoes, and catastrophic events, the um, the catastrophism that happened during the Great Flood, the Noahic flood, Noah's flood, is really interesting to read about, and um, just that whole catastrophe, the magnitude of that catastrophic event puts Mount St. Helens, and I mean it just dwarfs what it must have been like when the plates of the continents were splitting, and the volcanism and plate tectonics that was going on um, during the Great Flood must have been. It's hard to even imagine a sheet of water, that was so powerful to transform, the continents of the world, and to cut and carve, into the landscape and leave the remnants that we see today. It just all fits. It all fits and makes sense. That water was the cause, the I'm sorry, the mechanism to carve what we see today. It's just overwhelming. Everywhere you go in the world, it is evident that of flood and volcanism and plate tectonics. It's incredible. Oh, let me read, Rob. You said, I noticed most of the Americans take like 2 seconds between words when they talk with someone. And they use very often the words mean and you know. Hmm. Well, in today's society with the younger generation, the word like is just rampant. It's so bad. I sat in a Starbucks coffee shop and I was looking at my phone, and these two young ladies or girls were sitting next to me at this bar, at the bar seats, and they were just having, talking away to each other. And I couldn't help but I sat there and I opened up my recorder and I hit record, and I recorded these two girls talking. And I was just counting the amount of likes that came out of their mouth. And and then we went over to the store, and we went there, and then and I was laughing. I thought, oh my gosh, listen to these girls. They can't say more than 3 words without saying the word like. And they were just laughing and talking and just chatting, and it was just normal for them to say and and then and then they went over to the store, and we went here, and and I would thought, oh my gosh, I got to record this. And I hit the record button. I just sat there like I'm reading the phone, and I was sitting there recording them. And then I brought it home and I let my wife and my son listen to it. I said, you got to hear this. This is crazy. And you couldn't understand. My wife couldn't even understand what they were saying. They said it so often. It was just like a garbled message. Oh my God, yeah, yeah. Well, that's out of control as well. Oh my God, yeah, yeah. Well, that is very sad, because that's not just learned in the English language. All over the world, all over the world. You go to the Philippines, Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam, Thailand. Well, I don't know about Thailand so much. More the English-speaking countries. Wherever English is now, a second language, a common second language. The oh my God is everywhere. And people just don't, they don't realize what they're saying. Yeah. Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. I'm Tyson. Sorry, Tyson. Back to the volcanism and all that. I'm constantly. I've got material right here on my coffee table that talks about it, and it just gets me so focused. I just want to know more. Just teach me, fill my brain with this stuff. It's just like amazing to read something that just fits. It all fits. It makes sense. It's very convincing, overwhelmingly convincing to read the creation worldview and the sciences using a creation worldview as its foundation. And I got it right here. I mean, it's a good book. It's a basic book, but it's really good. Biblical geology. And it talks about, geology based on a biblical worldview. And it talks, it's beautifully illustrated. It's got, I'm sorry, I'm in a here, let me take off this I got to share it with you now that we're talking about it. I'm going to take off this virtual background here. And that way I can show you the real time. Here we go. Yeah, biblical geology. I say it's beautifully illustrated. It's got either actual photos and or artist conceptions of geological formations. Bryson Zion National. I believe that's Bryson Zion. But it talks about geology from a biblical worldview. It's the if this, then what would you expect to find? So, for instance, if this, then what would you expect to find? And what you expect to find is what you see around us. Everywhere. All over the world. From the poles to east and west. All the land masses around the world make sense from this perspective. It fits, and these books show just that. And they're geologists that have doctors in their PhDs in their field, just like a secular scientist that has a PhD in his field. The information, I'm sorry, the evidence is the same. The rock that they're studying is the same, but the glasses that they're wearing are different, because one geologist is using glasses from this perspective, and the secular geologist is wearing another set from an evolutionary perspective, worldview. And they're totally contrasting. But this makes more sense. And when I saw that contrast, and I see the evolutionist point of view. Now let me read the biblical. Overwhelmingly, convincingly overwhelming. That this fits. It just fits. There's no question. Absolutely no question. And I'm just like, that's it. I'm convinced. There's no reason to go back. It doesn't make sense. Evolutionary worldview doesn't make sense. To, if this, then this. Or if this, then what would you expect to find? And this, the pieces of the puzzle fit together so much better. And so, I'm just I'm like a kid back in class again, back in science class, back in a geology class. I'm just like, what do they say about these, these things? It's fossilization, especially fossilization. Fossilization is just, it's like learning about the heart in the eyeball when I was in, medical school. I was like, whoa, this is cool. I want to know everything I can. I want to understand, how the heart works. Well, I start reading this stuff and I'm like, whoa, I never knew that. They never taught me this in school. Why not? Why didn't the teachers, why didn't this come out of the teacher's mouth? Why? Because they didn't know. But it's been around. This material's been printed since I graduated from high school. And actually before, 2 years before, 1978. And I'm like, what? How come I never heard about this? How come I never read this in my classroom? So, yeah, I was I've been sold for the last 17 years and I can't get enough of it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to change the subscription to this magazine that I subscribe to a more technical version of the magazine that appeals more to the scientist as opposed to a layperson. It goes a little more into details, a little more technical that might not be as easy on the ears to a layperson. So I'm thinking I'm going to end that subscription and just transfer to the other magazine because it's the same price and start getting that issue instead. Oh, let me go back to what you were saying here. Um, volcanology. Yeah. Well, Tyson, if you haven't, um, I could recommend a website that will talk about. It's got over how many articles? I just went to a conference, actually a speaker, and he mentioned how many articles. It's mentioned on the website. There's like they have, I think, approximately 40,000 or 35,000 articles, um, uh, scientific papers, articles that were written on various subjects, including volcanology, and if I'm not mistaken, and you all you do is just type in a volcanology question, or a subject, or a name, or whatever, into this website and see what articles they have about that particular subject. More than likely, they have an article written and they talk about it. And the website's very easy to remember. It's creation.com. I was talking about the creation worldview. Well, the website is exactly that. It's creation.com. And in the search bar, just type in volcanology and see what I'm curious. It's like I want to go there right now and just type it in. But again, I'm kind of limited on this Xbox. But I misspelled that. Creation.com. You can figure it out. Creation. Common spelling. Creation.com. I'm using an Xbox controller to type, so forgive me. Yeah, creation.com. Yeah, while I'm live, why don't you go to that website and tell me what did you first hit on? Just type in volcanology and and copy and paste the title of the article that comes up, the very first one or whatever. I'd be interested because in that book that I just showed you, it's just Biblical Geology 101. Um, there's a section in here on volcanology, volcanic rocks, for example. I just happened to look in um, the dictionary, not the dictionary. The what is it called? The glossary. But yeah, it's got a section on volcanism, I think. Oh, it's written by one of the authors is the guy that I just went and saw speak down in South Jersey, Dr. Robert Carter. He's a PhD in genetics and biology, and now his emphasis is human genetics, and it's you should listen to him and look at his YouTube videos. Dr. Robert Carter with Creation Ministries. He's got a, a something atom and mitochondrial Eve. I forget the name of the preface to atom. Something atom and mitochondrial Eve, and listen to that video on human genetics, and it's just wild, cool stuff. Chelsea Flannery, I love you. You must be talking to always number one. No, gosh, I'm stuttering. Your comment, bro is more educated than Joe Biden. That ain't saying much. No. You must not be referring to me because I'm just repeating I've been what I've read the last 17 years, and it's just rocking my world. Blows me away to read this stuff. Just so good. So good. It's just a much better, overwhelmingly convincing model that that describes what we see today. In whether it's here on this earth or any other, planet or body in this universe. It just makes so much more sense, when learning about it from a biblical perspective. Um, yeah, I tend to read more books than I do online, although I do both. Creation.com, the website I just gave you. I'm frequently I just use resources wherever I can find it. If the article's online, then I'm reading it online. If I need to get information on a certain subject or whatever, then I'll go, usually I use online to find out where it is. And if it's available in a book and it's something that I can see myself having it here at the house so I can read it, then I'll order it. But if it's something that if I find myself, reading it online and I'm stuck on it, then I'll finish the article online. There's no reason to uh, buy the book when the article is only a page and a half long, or the information's only 2 pages. You see what I mean? But if there's a whole book on the subject that I'm looking for, then I'm probably not going to be sitting in front of the TV, to read a book, the whole book. So, it depends, whatever it is that I'm looking for. I should read Bhagavad Gita. It's a Hindu holy book. They say it changes life, but I haven't read it. In all due respect to your recommendation, um, I've I've found the truth. I mean, overwhelming, convincing, convinced that I've found the truth already, and so that that keeps me focused, and I'm not seeking for it anymore. And so, recommendations other than the truth, there's no reason to to look at that book. If it's a book regarding the truth, for example, Biblical Geology 101, then I'm all for it. I'll consider buying it and sitting down and reading it because it's just emphasizing the truth, what I know to be the truth. Does that make sense? And and when you say that, when you recommended that book, I couldn't help but think of a book that I have. Actually, I don't have it over there anymore. My son, my own son, God love him, my eldest son, he doesn't know the truth and refuses to learn about it. And when he was younger, he was an avid reader, brilliant little boy. He was reading full novels when he was 10 years old before he went to bed at night. And, he would read 600 page, three, 400, 500 page novels and finish them, and it was just, put tears in my eyes to, to watch my own son, advance so quickly. And yet, so he was an avid reader, and he read very technical books, or I shouldn't say technical, but novels and um, literature and so on. And he would eventually recommend books to his dad. And there came a point in my life when, I discovered something that was just overwhelmingly, I was overwhelmingly convinced to be the answer, the truth. And he recommended a book to me, kind of like what you did, with all good intentions. He actually wrote in the front of it, I thought you would be interested in something like this. And he bought it for me as a birthday present. And you know what? I never read it. I never opened it. And if you asked me how many times did I open up the front cover and read his message that he wrote to me as a happy birthday, I read that more than 5 times. And but as far as reading it any further, I never did. And I have no interest in reading, what my own son recommended to me, because it doesn't, all it does is distracts me. You know, my mindset is going down a certain path of of knowledge, and when I read something, I can immediately tell you this has nothing to do with the knowledge that I'm looking for. So all it is a distraction. I don't know if that makes sense to you. That's not being inconsiderate. I I I gotta stay focused. It's so this stuff is so interesting to me. It blows my mind. It rocks my world to read the truth. Literature based on the truth. Marianne, oh my gosh, where did you come from? Oscar, I do, of course, I remember you, Oscar. You see how involved I was getting into what I was saying? I didn't even see Marianne pop in and Oscar. But now I do. I see you guys. But isn't that something? Back to what Always Number One was saying about, recommending a book to me. I thank you so much. I really, all due respect. But If it's not, you know, if it's not biblical, uh, based on the truth, here, this is kind of a touchy um, statement to make. But listen to this. Always number one. If if something is not based on the truth, like the absolute truth. A lot of people say you can't know the absolute truth. Yes, you can. I know it. So I can say without a doubt, yes, you can. Because I can. I don't know it all, but I know who the truth is. I know what the truth is. So, if something isn't the truth, what is it? What is it? That's like a math question, a basic math question. If something isn't the truth, what is it? Um, yes. Scroll up. You said. Uh, I thought the last. Oh, here. Have you read the book? Yeah, that's what I was reading. It's not fantasy book. It's based on real life solutions. And then before that, you should read the same book, Indian Hindu holy book. They say it changes life, but I haven't read it. Yeah, I read both of those comments. But back to my question. Um, if something isn't the truth, what is it? That's kind of an obvious question. It's not the truth. And what's the antonym? I'm sorry, the synonym. I'm sorry, the antonym to the truth. I'm going to let you answer it because to see if you agree with what I'm thinking. If something isn't the truth, what is it? And like I said, it's kind of a touchy question because people take the answer the wrong way. But it's a fact. If something isn't the truth, it is correct. It's not the truth. Well, what is not the truth? What word do we use to describe not the truth? See if you say it. You said the right answer. If something is not the truth, it means it's fake or superstitious. How about it's a lie? There you go, Tyson. There you go. If it's not the truth, it's a lie. That's right. Like I said, this is touchy because when you say that to somebody, they'll get offended. When you tell them they're a liar, for example, that's offensive. But it's common sense. If something isn't the truth, it's a lie. So if if you're recommending a book to me, and again, this is touchy because I'm not don't take it the wrong way, but if a book isn't based on the truth, it can't be the truth then. What is the truth is relative. Now we're no, the truth is the truth. Period. There's no relativity or objectivity. It's the truth. The truth is the truth. And as a matter of fact, the truth isn't a something. It's a person. I guess the answer to your question, Selena, is that's impossible. That's correct. Yeah. The Bible is the truth. That's where I found the answer. Yeah, it's the truth. It's the absolute truth. 100%. And people will ask me, "How do you know that?" And I basically already answered it, and that is, it just makes the most sense. It's the best argument that I have found. So based on the percentages, if you were to look at, and in the medical field, we're always looking at percentages. If an experiment is repeating itself 99.9% of the time, then it's reliable. So you have to go with the numbers. Well, the same with my conclusion is I have to go with the numbers. It's overwhelming. And that's why. That would be my answer. How do I know if it's the truth? Because it's overwhelmingly convincing that it's telling the truth, that it's correct. Yeah. No, everything we see, let's see, is true because we actually see it. Our perception of that's a good. I'm sorry, I should have read everything. Our perception of what we see, however, is incomplete and full of prejudices. Yeah. That it's you can. This is a good conversation and it gets deep, and I actually get into it with my son, and we talk about it like this as well. Um, but based on that, you were saying what we see is true. And I just used it today actually with him. And that is, but we do know some things, right? We do know for sure, for example, I'm speaking right now. And if I asked you, am I speaking right now? And you would say, yes, of course. And how do you know that? And you'd give me reasons, and so we do know some things. There are some absolutes that we use today. But the question is, let me ask you this question is there a possibility you could be wrong about anything you know? And that's not a play on words. It's a simple question. Is there a possibility you could be wrong about anything you know? And the answer is, of course, right? Isn't that the way you answer that question? Of course, there's a possibility I could be wrong about anything I know or about everything I know, right? But what that question is, it's called a self-refuting logical fallacy, meaning, so if there's a possibility you could be wrong about anything you know, then you could be wrong about answering that question by saying yes. So what that does is it literally shuts a person up because anything coming out of their mouth could be wrong. By saying yes, I could be wrong about everything I know or about anything you know. The only way to answer that question is no. There's no possibility I could be wrong about anything I know. And the only way you can answer no to that question is if you know everything. Then there's no possibility you could be wrong about anything you know, about everything you know. Right? There's only one correct answer to that question. So there has to be somebody or something that knows everything about everything for them not to be wrong. So if you know something for certain, it didn't come from you. It had to have come from somebody that knew everything about everything. If you absolutely know something, you see? There has to be somebody that knows everything, that is absolute certain about everything. And there's one person that lays claim to that says he is the way, the truth, the life. That person has to either be 100% correct or is a 100% liar. And that person has a name. His name is Jesus Christ. And when you go with that and say, okay, if he's telling the truth, then what would I find? What would I expect to find? And you start there. And when you start doing your studying and you start looking into that, you're going to be overwhelmingly convinced that that person is what he claims to be. 100%. Absolute telling the truth. Just one. I mean, fluently. And I know a little bit of Tagalog because I'm involved in this live stream. And most of when I got started in this live stream community, it was through my wife. She's from the Philippines. And then she introduced me to YouTube and getting subscribers. And I was like, how do you do that? And she says, oh, you got to talk to my relative in the Philippines. He says you go online and you live stream and you post your YouTube channel link and people click on it and click on it and then your YouTube subscribers start growing. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And next thing you know, I'm live streaming and learning how to grow my YouTube channel and get subscribers and get monetized. And so I started seeing the Filipino language all the time for 3 years. And I thought, well, you know what? If I'm going to start understanding what they're saying, maybe I should try to learn what they're saying. And my wife's from the Philippines, and I was horrible at learning her dialect, so I started asking YouTubers. For example, Oscar, not Oscar, but Marianne Vlog. She's a Filipina, and others. Um, a lot of the people that will come into my live stream are from the Philippines. So I started asking. I'm going to read your comments here in a minute. If you want to hold off for a second, so I can scroll back. I started asking them, how do you say how are you? How do you say what is your name? How do you say how old are you? Where are you from? Et cetera, et cetera. Some of these common chat room comments and words in the Philippine dialect, which the main dialect is Tagalog. So I started asking people and I started seeing it posted a lot. And if you know Spanish, unsa, she's got to start using. Um, if you know Spanish, the Philippines has a large Spanish heritage in their history, and their language is based. A lot of their dialect is based on the Spanish alphabet and pronunciation. So if you know Spanish, you'll learn Filipino easy. And the vowels are Spanish vowels. So if you know a, e, I, o, u, then you can pronounce all of the Filipino words. Well, most of them. Some of them are difficult. They've got some weird um, linguistics about their pronunciation. So, what's that? What's that called? Um, there's a word for that. Like ng sounds. You know, the nga, nge, ngo, ngu, and et cetera, et cetera. But so I learned some of the Tagalog dialect and the Bisaya or Visaya dialect. That's the middle and southern dialect of the Philippines. But as far as having a conversation, no, I can't. Um, I Japanese. You're talking about. Oh, that's right. You're in New South Wales in Australia. We went through this already. I forgot, Oscar. I'm always forgetting about that. But you know, when I first see your name, Oscar, I automatically assume you're from the Philippines. I don't know why, but maybe your screen name just reminds me of a Filipino screen name. Um, like Matima, she knows everything about anything, or anything about everything. Either way. Number one, you speak Hindi, English, Punjabi, Japanese, a little bit of French. Yeah, Yeah, if you don't use it, you lose it. Yeah, that's cool. I know too gibberish in English. There's that. You know everything about anything, about things. Yeah, so I may have confused you with that. Is there a possibility? There's a YouTube video. A preacher. I'm sorry, he's more of a evangelist, and I think he's Dutch, but he's an American, but he holds his given name and he still uses it, and I forget what it was. It's kind of a difficult spelling for his first and last name, and he's got a YouTube channel, and he goes around preaching and sharing using that. Is there a possibility? It's called apologetics. He uses that question. Is there a possibility you could be wrong? That's where I learned it from, about anything you know or about everything you know. And he uses that, and then he uses that to open up the door to have a conversation with somebody. And he does a lot better job at it than I just did. But I had to watch him multiple times to grasp what it was that why he was using that question. And I finally got it. And I went, oh, that's good. That I understand now. And I may not have been doing a good job explaining that by using that question, but I understand it. And I try my best to do what he does. And it makes total sense to me what he's trying to explain. And when I got it, I was just like, OMG. I get it. I get it. And it's so good. It's so good. It makes so much sense. The puzzle just fits and it's complete. And I'm just like, man, if my parents had only known. I got an opportunity to share the truth to my dad before he died. And he fell to his knees like a child and cried with me. And he said, Gary, nobody ever explained it to me that way. With tears running down his face. 73 years old at the time. He died when he was 79. He got an opportunity to hear the truth and accept the truth before he died. It was the greatest moment of my life. The most joy I've ever experienced. My own dad. Who would have known I had the opportunity to share the truth with my dad in my own home? It was blew me away. I didn't even see it coming. But the opportunity presented itself and I was like, "Oh my gosh. I've got to say something." And I spent like 20 minutes with my dad in my living room. And he said, "Nobody ever explained it to me that way, Gary." Dropped his face in his hands and he cried like a child. Dropped to his knees. My own dad. I was like, "You think I was crying? Oh my God, I was just a mess." Put my arm around him. It was like unbelievable, unbelievable what I got to share with him. It was profound. Who would have known? He never knew. Like he said, nobody ever explained it to me that way, Gary. Who am I? You know, I don't know. I don't know squat. But you know what? I know something that I never knew before, and I can explain it to people. It ain't me. I'm just I'm just a vessel. It's just going from it's going from this through me and out my mouth, and I'm telling people about it. And look what it did. It changed my dad's life. I didn't do it. The truth did it. I just said what I knew. And look what it did to my own father. My brothers, my sisters, my own mom. They think I'm nuts. I'm serious. They think I belong to a cult. And all I want to do is share the good news with them. Do you know what gospel means? The word gospel? Gospel? It means good news. When people say, I want to share the gospel with you, they're saying, I want to share the good news with you. The truth. It's the truth, for God's sakes. Why, pray tell, would anybody deny you if you've got good news to tell them? Think about that. My own mom turned me away. She broke down in tears and went into the bathroom and asked me to stop. All I wanted to do was share the good news with her. Yeah, it's so, you get to a point where you can't push it anymore. You made an attempt. They don't want to hear it. And so all you can do is pray for them. And maybe one day, God willing, that their eyes will open up and the light switch will go on and they'll get it. Like me. I didn't understand. I was there. I was in their shoes. So, and God works in bizarre ways. It may not be, they may not get it for another 10 years. They may not, it may not because of what I shared with them. It might be somebody else years down the road, that opens the door or flips on the light switch and they'll get it. But when you finally, when you find, the biggest thing is to put your pride in your back pocket. That's how I describe it. Just put your pride in your back pocket for a day and let somebody like myself show you. Spend 20 minutes with you or a half an hour and explain something like my dad said, like nobody has ever done before. And even then, even after, that, you may not, it may not be that time for you to understand. But yeah, it makes the most sense. It's overwhelming. And even after, knowing the truth, being convinced that, it's 100%, I still don't have all the answers. There's some things in this, in the Bible that just doesn't make sense, and I can't make heads or tails out of it. Well, that doesn't mean it's not true. It just means I can't understand it. So, move on. Keep going. And maybe one day it'll, click and I find myself a lot rereading passages or verses that I thought I understood, but then I'll hear somebody else talk about it, and I'm like, whoa, never saw that before. Next thing you know, I'm looking it back up and rereading it, and I'm like, OMG. Never looked at it that way. Never saw that path. Never understood it that way, but that's good. And now you're like even deeper. Now your knowledge takes on even a deeper understanding. God even says that. I'll show you great and mighty things that you knoweth not. You want to know knowledge? Get to know the truth. Doesn't that make sense? Just that statement alone. The Bible even says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So what does that say right there? If you want to know anything, where does it start? The fear of the Lord. Remember that question? Is there a possibility you could be wrong about anything you know? The only answer to that question, the only correct answer is no. There's no possibility that I could be wrong about anything I know. What does the Bible verse say? The beginning of knowledge is where? Fear of the Lord. The fear of God. And they're not talking about being afraid of him. That fear is talking about reverence, awe, wow. Do you want to know for absolute sure? Fear him. Get to know him. It just, see, that makes sense, makes total sense to me. It fits. If I don't want to be wrong about anything I know, fear God. He's not wrong. He can't be. This can't be wrong. It's the truth. If its claim is the truth, then it can't be wrong. This is either the truth or it's a lie. Remember what I said? What's the opposite of truth? It can't be one or the other, or it can't be both. It either is telling the truth or it's a complete lie. All of it. 6,000 years of lies? All of it? No. No. And when you start, like I said earlier, when you start studying it, when you start applying it to your studies in science, it's overwhelming. It just starts to fit. Everything comes together. The answers are here. You get it? It's the truth. So what would you expect to find? You would expect to find the truth. You would expect to find the truth. You would be able to make statements like evolution, the greatest deception in modern history. That's a pretty profound statement, isn't it? But you know what? It's the truth. Evolution is not the truth, people. It's the greatest deception in modern history. We've been lied to. Remember? What's the opposite of the truth? There's only one truth out there, guys. There's only one way we got here. You and me. There's only one way we got here. And you know what? There's only one way to get out of here. I said that earlier in a live stream. And if you don't know your way in and you don't know the way out, what does it make you? It makes you lost. I mean, that's like common sense, in navigation. If you don't know how to get there, but you end up there somehow, and now you're told to get back, uh-uh, you're lost. Well, that's what we refer to people that refuse the truth. They're lost. They are. They don't know the truth. They refuse to accept it. They're lost. They need to be found. I call it broken. We're all broken people. We need to be fixed. There's only one solution. There's only one. Only one. Yeah, that's it. And when you accept that and you understand it, then it's like your focus. There's no other answer. I've got to go this direction. I've got to keep going in that direction. And when you do, wow, your mind gets blown open and things just start to come together. And science all of a sudden starts to make sense, and they come up with a worldview that is just overwhelmingly convincing. I keep repeating myself. So I hope that, yeah, if that doesn't do anything for anybody, that's. Oh, Oscar. Hey, Doc. We going to talk about magic on ice? Oh, wow. Wait a minute, Oscar. How do you remember magic on ice? Did I talk about that before? Magic on ice. I told you about my high school. Yeah, I did. I told you about two people that I grew up with. Yeah, about me doing magic and where I learned it. And then that guy ended up meeting at SeaWorld doing his magic show on ice. And then come to find out, oh, I didn't tell you, Oscar. Um, that that particular day that I was at SeaWorld with my family and I saw the Magic on Ice performance, and I saw my friend on stage, on ice skates. And of course, I couldn't yell at him, and and distract him. But I told my wife afterwards, honey, we got to go backstage. I've got to go say hello to Steve. And so we went back, and it was actually gated off and it was locked. But there was a security guard at the gate, and I told him the same story I just told you. And he's like, hold on a second. And he went back to the trailer, which was behind the fence, behind the gate. And he got Steve to come out of his trailer after the performance. And then he said, hey, somebody wants to talk to you. And Steve walked up to the gate. And I was like, over there going. And he's trying to figure out, like, who is that? And then when he saw me, and I was like, Steve Wheeler. And he's like, oh my gosh, Gary MacKay. And I was like, dude, what? Really? And he's like, what'd you think? And I went, oh my gosh, of all people. So I got to like physically reunite with Steve backstage. And I just went, dude, that was really good. He's like, yeah, I just got back from Singapore, and my next stop is Florida. He was in San Diego. He's like, my next stop is Florida, and then from there we're gonna go to the Caribbean. And I'm like, holy moly, dude! Of all people, imagine that, Steve Wheeler. He was raising. He had a dove, a bird aviary, in his backyard when he was 12 years old. His dad helped him build it, and he used those birds in his show, in his magic show. He would produce doves out of nowhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, he was 11, 12 years old, and he was performing illusions like that on stage. And then he was levitating and disassembling bodies on stage in high school and winning the talent shows left and right. He was levitating girls out of, and then making them disappear on stage in high school. And now he's traveling the world. Crazy. Magic on ice. Yeah, you can YouTube Steve Wheeler's Magic on Ice. What a trip! What a trip! Well, gosh, everybody, I don't know if you're still there, Tyson and number one and um, Oscar, Robbie, Marianne, Soul. Kenneth Copeland. Yes, I have heard of Kenneth Copeland. I'm sorry, Soul. I didn't get to read everybody's. Marianne, oh my God. OMG, oh my gulay. There you go. Sana all. Oh, Robbie, you're speaking Tagalog. Sabi ko alam mo lahat ang bagay. Bagay. Oh, wait, you said that before, monkey. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro? A Negro. Badoom. Oh, I didn't see that. Let's talk more about Magic on Ice. Are you guys still there? Or did I lose you? Wow, 6 o'clock in the morning. What in the world is happening? I see four. Four sets of eyeballs. Who's there? Are those return eyeballs or are those new eyeballs? Hey, you know what I ran out of? I ran out of creamer for my coffee last night, and now I'm using milk, and it's nasty. I mean, I can drink it, but boy, it isn't my normal powdered creamer that I use in my coffee. Come on, guys, come back. Come back and talk to me. Don't leave me here by myself. Who's still there? Come on in. Number one, are you there? Oscar? Marianne? Uh, Robbie? What happened to you guys? I see the number four, four sets of eyes up there. Who's watching that's not revealing themselves? Hey, do you want to see some magic? Would you like me to perform some magic on camera? Maybe that'll get somebody's attention. Oh, 7 people. Come in, guys. I'll do a magic show for you guys. Would you like to see some magic? I have some parlor, they call it parlor magic, I can perform on camera. How about that? I have a routine that I have down pretty pat. I might have to set the camera up in a different configuration to capture my whole. If I could stand up and it'd capture my whole body. You know what? Maybe I'll do that. You know what? I'll see if I can set the camera up on something taller. So, or maybe I can just point it up a little bit. Hold on. Let's see if I can configure this acceptably. Is that a word? Acceptably? I don't think that's a word. You know what? If I set it over there, maybe that will raise it up high enough. Let's see. Let's see. What if I set it over there? Oh, wait. Oh, wait a minute. I might have something here. Let's see. Okay, mic test. There we go. We got a microphone back. What happened was this button behind my ear was pressed, and that's the mute that's happened. So I think we're back. So, anyways, now that you can hear my horrible microphone, let's see if we can. Oh, kind of hard to get everything in the picture here, especially with this vertical live. It's kind of limited. Oh, hold on. There it is. Oh, see, it's hard to stay in the picture here, especially with this cord hanging around your neck. Can you see it okay? No, I got to back up here. A little black speck there. Right? Put that in my pocket. Whoop, can't see. Reaching into my pocket. Put a little bit of that dust on there. There we go. Cool, huh? Cool. So, what'd you think? It may not have all been in the picture, but I'm struggling to look at the camera and see what I'm doing back and forth. Trying to keep it all within this rectangle here. So, do you believe I practiced that when I was 11 years old in my bedroom? Um, when I first started learning about the multiplying billiard balls. I actually started with these little wood balls. They were probably about a half an inch in diameter, and they were painted red. Little itty bitty red balls, and I would produce them and get four of them all. And then I graduated to a 3/4 inch, and then eventually an inch, and then an inch and 3/4. And these are, let's see, these are tournament manipulating billiard balls. I think they're inch and 3/4, or inch and a half, something like that. Yeah. You know, if I pan back a little bit with my camera, it'll give me a little greater. I think that might be a little better to, yeah, it might have been better to stay back like this with the in focus, that is. Yeah. What do you mean at your right? I saw it. You saw what at my right? There we go. Whoa, ping pong ball? You mean the multiplying billiard ball? That's what they're called. They're not actual billiard balls, but that's the name of the illusion, is multiplying billiard balls. So yeah, you start with one. That's the whole illusion. I should talk you through this. I'll show you one more time. You start with one, you make it disappear, right? And then you make it reappear out of your pocket. So there it is in my pocket, right? And then you make it multiply into 2, right? Then you take the 1 and you put it up a finger, and then it turns into 3. Cool? Then you make it disappear, one of them, and you find that one in your pocket. So you put that one down as the third, and you've got space for one more, right? And then you turn it into 4, right? See if I can show you the best. It's up against my blue is the best, like this. Then you take one away, make it disappear, right? You move the top ball down to that position, right? And then you take it away, right? You put that one in your pocket, so it's gone. And then make it reappear. Then you swipe it away, right? And then you move this ball down to that position. So now you're back to this. And you swipe it away, and you put it in your pocket, so it's gone. I'm battling the green cord here. So it's gone. And then you can make it reappear, swipe it away, make it disappear, right? Then you reach into your pocket and you get some dust to put on top of that last ball, and voila, you're down to just, these actually bounce. I don't know if you can hear this or not. It's like a super ball. They bounce off the ground. They're made of rubber, solid rubber. Pretty cool, huh? And then you can make that one disappear. Oh, it reappears underneath my kili. Cool, huh? And I'll put that in my pocket. So there you are. Multiplying billiard balls. So was that good? Was that presentable? Yeah, everybody left. It looks like I lost everybody. I think I typically will lose people when speaking about the Word of God. It's not unusual for. What happened here? Hold on. There we go. Yeah, that is actually the most common reaction. Oh, number one, you're still here. Did you see the magic show by any chance? Number one. Did you get to see the illusion? I know very little. I mean, not very good. Number one. I haven't. Well, I'll perform it again if you would like. I was just showing a skill, a talent that I learned. Hold on a second, Alexa, turn on the kitchen. Alexa, turn the kitchen 100%. See if that'll. Ah, there we go. That brightened it up a bit. Yeah, a talent that I learned back when I was in. Gosh, I was junior high school. Maybe I started when I was elementary school. No, it was junior high school, 7th grade. You asked. I think you asked me that before. I'm sorry I didn't answer. I do not. I grew up with pets, though. I grew up with a dog. We had dogs all my life. Dogs and puppies, and scooping and burying their poop in the backyard and all of that. But when I became an adult myself and started a family, I just decided I never had the room that I was looking for to raise a pet. I wanted a lot of space, for them to run around and outdoors. And I never had that, not enough. And now I do. But I just never bought a pet for my youngest and so on. Yeah, it is. I know. I grew up with them, and it's always the worst part. It's like a family member. Yeah. But it sure is cool, isn't it? To especially have like a dog, they're so smart and they seem to have a personality and a way they look and happiness with their tail and fear and sadness and all of that. It's pretty cool to be a part of and to experience, to play with and run with, and they sure are fun to have. Ah, but my kids never grew up with a pet. That was just because of me not making the decision to get one. And now my youngest son, especially, yeah, a little bit, girl, or a lot of it. My son grew up the only child, even though he has a brother and sister. They're grown and out of the house, and he's he's spent time with my daughter, but his brother he met when he was younger, and now he's 19. My youngest son is 19, and there's some, I don't know. My eldest son has some, I don't know what his issue is, but he doesn't want to have anything to do with his younger brother. Not sure what the actual hang up is. And my eldest son is almost 40 years old, so he's not a child anymore. He's a grown man, and it's sad that they don't have, some kind of a phone relationship. But my eldest son has some, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm really broken about it, but I really don't know. So only time will heal, or not sure what happened. So. Oh, I was saying, so my youngest boy grew up by himself, and so my wife was talking about getting a pet for him. so he could have something to play with. And a dog was the most talked about pet. And I never did. And now I have room. I got a large yard and lots of room for the dog to run around, and I could actually keep my dog outside almost year round. Maybe during the winter I'd make maybe a bed for him out in the garage, yeah, undercover. But um, yeah, I have the room for it now. But now he's 19, and um, it's, I guess, not too late. But maybe he'll get one when he becomes he moves out on his own or becomes a young adult. We'll see. Oh, girl, what am I going to do? What I'm thinking, what my plan is when I do this, when I stay up so late like this, is just take short naps throughout the day and try to make it to the evening by taking like 1 hour nap or 2 hours, not too long, so I can make it through the day. Yeah. And then that way, when it comes 10 or 11 p.m. at night, I am ready. But I need to stay awake. Now that I'm awake, I need to maybe take a 1 hour nap. I can try that. Or maybe 2 hours from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. Wake up at 9 and try to stay awake through the day. If I can't make it, take 1 more hour nap and keep trying that until tonight, and then I will be out for the whole night. So I think I'm going to try that. I'm going to go to bed right now and set the alarm. Wake up at 9 o'clock. And then try to make it through the day. And then go to sleep hard tonight. Okay? So, number one, if you're still there, see you. Good night. Girl, the same. Marianne and Robert, Oscar, and all the rest. Tyson, thank you for coming in. And yeah, Salahat, everyone. Monkey D. Wilza. Oh my god. Good morning. Bye, everybody. There's 6 people watching. I wish I had more time, but I've been up for 3 hours. I'm going to end. And maybe tonight I'll do it again, or early tomorrow morning. Maybe not. I hope I can go to bed and sleep all night tonight. So, all right, guys. See ya. As you were. Next time. See you later,